NCIS, Sydney has emerged as the most relevant show in the NCIS franchise due to its unique focus on real-time international relations and its reflection of the growing alliance between the United States and Australia. Premiering in 2023 during a period of heightened global tensions, the show highlights the strategic AUKUS partnership and its impact on the Indo-Pacific region. Unlike its cancelled predecessors, NCIS, Sydney integrates American and Australian forces into its narrative, mirroring the real-world strengthening of military ties between the two countries. Season 1 showcases this alliance through its depiction of joint investigations and international cooperation, positioning the series as a significant reflection of current global politics. An overlooked part of NCIS, Sydney proves it's the most relevant show in the franchise. A commonly overlooked detail about NCIS, Sydney proves that the series is the most relevant in the franchise. NCIS, Sydney is the last location-based NCIS narrative to remain. Previous location-based NCIS spin-offs, NCIS, Los Angeles, New Orleans, and Hawaii, have all been cancelled. Now that the Australian-centered series is the last man standing, its relevance has been questioned. That said, NCIS, Sydney has a worthy answer. The Australia-based series launched in 2023 amid writers' strikes that stalled regular network programming. The series utilized a local production crew to hone in on rising international tensions in the Indo-Pacific region while showcasing what Sydney offers. While other NCIS location-based series focused on satellite offices that are a part of the real NCIS network, NCIS, Sydney Season 1 provided something different. It focused on real-time international relations. The series introduced a team of agents made up of American NCIS agents and Australian Federal Police (AFP) officers, and the connection represents something relevant in global politics on a larger scale. NCIS, Sydney represents a growing alliance between the US and Australia. The NCIS series represents the AUKUS agreement. NCIS, Sydney wasn't just chosen because the Australian characters have great accents, although that is also a charming benefit of the series. Instead, the series represents an alliance between the United States and Australia that is happening in real time. In 2023, the same year NCIS, Sydney premiered, the United States and Australia released a joint statement via the Department of Defense, saying the alliance between the countries has never been stronger. The joint statement called the bond between the countries a partnership of strategic interest, premised on a common determination to preserve stability, prosperity, and peace. It's all part of the more extensive Australia-United Kingdom-United States (AUKUS) agreement. Earlier in 2023, Australia announced that it would end a purchase agreement with France to source nuclear-powered submarines from the United States and the United Kingdom via the White House. The decision signaled that Australia wants to build military ties with Western countries like the US and the UK. It's all part of the more extensive Australia-United Kingdom-United States (AUKUS) agreement, a trilateral security partnership between Australia, the United Kingdom, and the United States concerning protecting the Indo-Pacific region. How NCIS, Sydney portrayed the US/Australia alliance in Season 1. NCIS, Sydney formed the AFP/NCIS Sydney Task Force. In the series' opening scene, the Foreign Minister of Australia gives a speech at the Fleet Base East in Woolloomooloo, Australia. In it, she refers to the AUKUS agreement. She calls it a public reminder of the friendship that's spanned every major conflict since World War I, referring to the agreement between the three nations. She also mentions Talisman Sabre, which is the largest bilateral training exercise between Australia and the United States. The mention reflects Exercise Talisman Sabre, a real biennial exercise between the countries, via the Department of Defense. After an AUKUS sailor was found dead in the water, the series portrayed the alliance, beginning with an NCIS investigation into the petty officer's death. Agent Mackey was chosen to lead the team, and the AFP provided its total resources for the investigation. After Mackey and AFP Sergeant Jim J.D. Dempsey made a solid attempt to foil a NAVSEA sleeper cell, the AFP/NCIS Sydney Task Force was officially established, signifying the growing alliance between Australia and the US. The task force comprises most of the NCIS, Sydney cast, including its leader, Special Agent Michelle Mackey.